tournament and possibly about this match for a long time to come. Next up, though, Temple of Anubis. We will see what is going on in there.
So this is Germany's choice, of course, as loser picks are map ones that are assigned by Monkey Bubble themselves, and then it's loser's pick from that point. Temple of Anubis for Germany, and I think this does favour them. So first point, from an attacker's perspective, is a little bit awkward. The May Reaper is more difficult to make work because of the high ground surrounding the point. But once you get over to second point, which is the real sort of linchpin of any assault map, May Reaper's a lot better.
Yeah, no, that may be true. But on the other side, it's something that chat pointed out. Anubis is a sniper map. So do you really want to go up against people like Alive and Aviv who have been showing, long range and mid range domination with a close range combination on a map like Anubis? Do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's not as bad as Havana, particularly Havana first point. I think that's definitely true. And I think second point isn't as much of a sniper map. It's that first point that might be a problem. So far, we've seen Germany not really stray too far away from the meta. So the question is, do they have anything else in their bank? Radiant Engineer have both been... You've got the question mark over both their heads over terms of how deep is their hero pool when Germany need it. And I think particularly first point Anubis will maybe get an answer to that.
Yeah, no, that is right. And the biggest question, especially with Engineer, is will I see his Torbjorn? Because I love a Torbjorn.
I think it's a possibility on the defense. I do think it is. Depends what they expect Israel to run, and that's kind of a dangerous thing for all teams at this point. Is nobody really has a read on what the other ones want to play. So particularly on the first point on assault maps, teams will often try and counter strat or try and pick a comp that's very good at a lot of different things. But they don't have the scouting information yet. So they just kind of have to go with what they think is good and work with that. So Israel starting off, going with a comp we saw them play a lot in their first game against Switzerland, which is the double shield, the May, and the Widowmaker. So we are going to get to see Alive on that Widow again, and this time Aviv helping prop up that front line. Germany, though, they just want this Reaper May fight.
They want the Reaper May fight. They want it badly, and they want it quickly. Though last time, both Dark Artist and Knazen made sure that there was plenty of room for Alive and Aviv to do what they do best, which is, just taking it on the long range. This map separates the men from the boys, so we'll see who will come out an adolescent and who will come out a full-grown man as Germany takes on Israel in this next map 3 of this series.
Interesting to note that Pudge is on Mercy, so he's very much going to be playing Buddy with Alive, damage boosting him as much as possible. But they've wasted no time. They've caught Awkward already. How do they find that kill, Ollie?
Oh, yes, and it is absolutely just going in and going in fast for Germany. They've had enough with these slow things. Engineer up there taking Knazen, Alive going down, and Engineer finding 2 more targets just on an absolute spree. And this looks like a very first cap here for this map, and it is a quick one.
They took it fast, they punished the front line before Alive can find value. This happened on Oasis as well. Awkward ends up dying first. Didn't get a clear view of exactly how it happened, but it's certainly going to be a problem for Israel. Now we're moving on to point B, and this is where Germany's comp really comes into play. And Israel have to mirror. They've been worse in the mirror so far. They need to do better.
Yeah, that's right. What I wonder about Awkward is, he's been known to play so aggressively on that Moira, and it worked out well for him in the last match. I wonder what is different about it this time, whether or not he just thinks it is easy to get away with it after that last one. Death Blossom on Engineer coming down, finding Pots, finding Alive who jumps over, trying to find that jewel, and Germany just running in there, taking out and cleaning up immediately.
Going to be desperate swaps. Hammond and Reinhardt coming out. They need a kill. They need a kill quickly. Rady's going to take care of left-hand side. Blizzard over to the right. He's shutting so much of this point down.
Rady showing why he is so devastating with that ultimate. Taking down 2 as Engineer is cleaning up the other side. Rady on Awkward, who was a bit of a straggler in there. And now it's just waiting for that little bit of jumping in there from Team Israel. That is being done right now. 5 versus 3 people on that point, and the cap is very, very close.
I think Aviv's Blizzard was interrupted. I saw him use it, but I don't see anyone getting frozen. Now was maybe their one last hope to try and flip the point. Doesn't work out. What a time by Team Germany. You can see why they picked this map.
Oh, wow. They must have run this 100,000 times in order to execute it like that. That was beautifully done. And once again, Rady showing up why he should be a priority target in these fights.
Absolutely. That was some real clean, like, frag movie stuff right there. Really nice from him. And I think we talked about how pivotal May can be. You know, in all the previous World Cups, I don't think you'd ever see anyone picked for their May expertise. But the meta's shifted in such a way that it just seems to fit, particularly Rady and a lot of the other Team Germany's players' playstyle and their hero strengths, and everything maybe just slotting into place for Germany. Up to Israel now to try and get a map completion.
Yeah, I mean, if we should not rule out Team Israel, though. I mean, it will most likely not be as quick as we have seen Team Germany do it, because Israel is more prone to, finding that 1 or 2 pick and then going in rather than just steamrolling all the way in there. But it is still very, very possible for Israel to turn this around in the long run.
Couple of approaches they could take here. Obviously, they've shown a preference towards the sniper classes. I think they could do that and just sort of do a slow double shield push, force Germany back, force Engineer, who's on the Junkrat, out of position, get in that high ground position, and then they can do that slow push. The problem is that's a lot harder to do on second point. So first point, I think they should be alright if they can do a slow sniper push and just take ground. Second point is where the question marks is. But let's not. What's the expression? Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Something like that, yeah. Let's definitely not do that. Now, I am not very much into, poultry farming or anything, but what I'm into is a very nice attack. Look at that. Look at the defense. Engineer here already just lobbing those long-range bombs, finding Awkward. Awkward going down first again. This is stopping it before it has started. There's a rest coming in there for Putt, who was able to just get Awkward back up again. But let's see how they're going to get in on those sides. Apparently they're going left side, and Alive is looking for that pick, not able to find it. Very close shot there though, as we see the fight going in all the way to the side. Engineer going down by Alive. Great shot. Knausen looking for more picks, and Rady going down. So now it is Israel possibly in the lead on this one.
Great positioning here. It's exactly what we talked about. They all move left side. They make the space for Alive. Now they're just sort of slowly but surely bullying their way through this mega room. Dark Artist with all the cleanup. I do have to call out though. I swear that trap from Engineer is the oldest trap on Temple of Anubis. Just to put it right at the top of the stairs. Awkward doesn't spot it, goes into it anyway. Doesn't matter. They make it work. But here's what we talked about. Here's the question mark, Ollie. What do they do to take second point?
Yeah, again, it is very hard to just side snipe this, though Alive is someone who could potentially do it. Awkward down again, being rest by Potts yet again, though. So we will see what is going up. I mean, the equilibrium is still there, but now Israel, one rest down. So that could potentially be the opening for them to get back in there.
Yeah, Awkward's having a real hard time of it right now. Everyone just seems to be finding him. Regardless of whether it's May from across the map, a Junkrat trap, everything seems to be going wrong at the moment. Still has the Coalescence, should be in a good position. You see Alive sitting really far back here. I don't know if Alive can do enough from this position or any position on this point B to justify this Widowmaker pick, but we'll see if he can prove me wrong.
Not without being shut down quite early. Germany being halted together, so that would have been a time to just pull the trigger. Knausen here on the sideline. There's a tire coming in. Knausen and Dark Artist down. And that is the end of that attack, with the entire front line going down and both supports retreating immediately.
Not a lot of good options for Sigma to deal with a Riptire, but I think the real hero, it happened off screen unfortunately, but Refid goes out. We talked about Alive sitting in main, all the way back, the main entrance. Who goes and kills him? Refid just goes and DMs him. No fear, no problem. Widowmaker on the flank. Don't worry, guys. I've got it. You deal with everything else. I've got this one for us. Great play from him. Great aggressive play. And now Alive forced to swap over to the McCree.
Yeah, Alive not able to execute the way that he wants to. Moose in trouble now, though, as they're pushing it. That is a very, very good supercharger that, for Team Israel that will put them up there with Alive on the double. Hardy and Moose down. The Blizzard coming in, though, on the sides here as well for Revive. And now they might just be able to cap this out a bit slower, like I said, than Team Germany. But an impressive result, nevertheless, as Alive also finds Engineer and Rady.
5 for him so far. Supercharger from Hadi on the retake, but he can't get on point. His body blocks out. And it looked really even right there. And it's a bit of an atypical composition right there from Israel, which is how they won Havana, and it's how they've got the completion here. They kept the Mercy because they had Valkyrie. Alive on McCree makes sense. High damage, high kill potential. So they end up just sort of damage boost, like hard pocketing the McCree. It ends out working out. They get 2 picks on bridge, and then it's just straightforward, and they do a pretty good job of it with that Blizzard. And I mean, it's a minute slower, but I think you take that. This game is still anyone's for the taking.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we'll see whether or not Team Israel will be able to just close it off here on the attack, as they are getting ready to just repeat the trick that we've just seen. So, what do you think? What are we going to see? What are your predictions for this outcome?
So for Israel, I don't think there's any need to change. The only change you might want to do is obviously if you get to second point again, have Alive just start on the McCree rather than the Widow. But for this first point, I think they do the same thing. They force the rotation through left. They try and make space for Alive to find pickoff. Works out well. Germany need to be aware of this, and they are now running Engineer on the Reaper, which I think is a good change, which means Israel have to be careful, because if they go in that left-hand room again, the odds are against them for winning that fight unless Alive picks someone off. So I think Alive has to be ready and willing to go even deeper when his team rotate left, if they do the same thing, which I think they will.
It at least looks like they are doing the same thing. A jump try here for Alive. Doesn't find any target while he's in the air, but a very good idea indeed. Oh, Aviv finding the first shot here for Alive. So that could have gone differently if he had an inch more to go to the other side. Knarson aggressively pumping in on the sideline, immediately being blocked up by Rady's wall. That is going to be absolutely beautiful while this develops. Alive trying to find another target, not finding it though. And we see that the rest of Israel is just being stalled out here in that little side room. Engineer in the back line, though, being able to just set it up. Awkward going down. Moose finding 2 targets. And that is the stall on the first push here by Germany, who are just stabilizing beautifully yet again. But I have to say, with this quality, I want either of these teams to win. Everyone here in my book is a winner. And so can you. Remember, if you donate or if you follow a monkey underscore Overwatch right here on the Twitter and on the Twitches, then you can win 20 euros worth of, Blizzard. How do you say Blizzard currency? Is that a thing? Anyway, you get 2 entries into our raffle for every $1 that you donate. So please do.
So the swap has come on to Aviv on Farah right now. So it's going to be slow spam again. They're just going to try and force their way in, force their way out. Engineer might catch him here. Need to be a bit more careful than that, Aviv. Then he gets hit by the rock, I think.
Yeah, Moose going
he's
down.
Fine, though.
Yeah, he is. Moose went down, though. Rady was very close to going down. Dark Art is down as well, so both teams down. A tank. Alive finds Engineer. So now this might be the moment for Israel to pull the trigger on that. Pot gets Dark Artist, even though he was being pushed back. Wow, thank you for the nerf on the pushes there, as Rapid had his number. Dark Artist finds Raddy. Aviv finds Hardy on there, and this should be a cleanup operation, and we should go into a second point.
Good job by Israel, slowly pressuring them back, forcing Germany to keep taking steps backwards, and as long as Germany are walking backwards, Israel are just getting in a stronger and stronger position. Germany's only chance was a faster engage. They can't find that. Question now, Israel, minute and a half. Do they stick with the Pharaoh Widow? Alive now has a forced chance to swap hero, and I think it would... He struggled on the Widow on his second point, as I think most Widows would. I think he does need to look at something else. Back on the McCree, that makes sense. They do have a barrage, but they don't have really a good way of setting it up. We'll see what they try and do here.
Yeah,
it is awkward for them.
It is very hard, but the entire team getting pushed away to the side there for a second by Aviv's displacement rocket. Very, very well done. Let's see what Knarson does with his ultimate, though. He goes up and goes down, but not much happening except for Engineer going down. The barrage coming out, not finding any targets. So Raddy gets Aviv out of the sky, and IBTB finds Alive. Pots with the res right there. So this fight isn't fully over just yet. Knarson still has an ultimate there in the pocket. Let's see whether or not he pulls the trigger.
Without the May on the Team Israel, it's really difficult for them to take these frontline fights. They need Alive and Aviv to do work before they can really push their way onto the point. They need to sort of win the fight before they can take position, which is a bit of a problem. You think of the Goat Smetter and the Reaper May, they take the space, then they win the fight. Supercharger coming in now, and they have got Knassen's ult off the back of it, but they're just stuck in main with most of this Supercharger.
Yeah, that is right, but look at that! That could potentially be huge. Only one person knocked off, though, as the hold was in, and the rest was able to just pull out of there. So very, very well responded here for Team Germany. And it is Team Germany who are not only stabilizing, but getting most of the kill. Awkward finally taking down Engineer, but this should be over before it even started, because Aviv cannot get close to point, and the overtime wick is running, and it is gone!
Dark Arthur's booped away right at the last second. Even if he got the touch, it wouldn't have made a difference. And I think the comp from Israel is, we talked about how Assault plays slightly differently. And while the comp was really good for first point, you saw how it was able to slowly apply pressure. But the main difference is you get a kill on first point with that kind of composition. The German team has a real hard time reinforcing from the respawn. And also there's a lot of high ground around the point. On second point, that's not so true. So it's harder to get in that position. You need to try and keep the kills quicker, which isn't really what the comp is good at doing. So it just doesn't work in the same way. At Israel, they get third point, but definitely a good chance for Germany to retake the lead in this series.
Yeah, especially with a time bank like that. 4 minutes 49 on the clock. That is one hell of a time, and you can change a lot of champions in that time. A lot of heroes can be swapped out, so you can alter your comp no matter what Israel is throwing at them. And Israel apparently is throwing at them the same thing they have done this entire time. And we will see whether or not they can succeed with it this time, because, I mean, we've seen Raddy and Engineer just take this apart like a mechanic.
Exactly. Last time they put a really fast early pressure, they got an instant kill onto Awkward somehow. That obviously can't afford to happen again. They stick with the Widow again. They need to buy time. The problem is, if Germany just want to take a fight, Germany can force that fight, and if they can get to point, that's when it gets really tough for Israel, because then Israel have to fight them. So you take that opening.
Raddy going down though on Alive, and Alive looking for more. I mean, the Sigma shield is out, but should be popped up quite early. Alive now with the jump shot, almost finds a target, but just barely misses it. Very nicely done here as Aviv looks at the nice little, at the point right there. Ball coming out, holding up Team Germany.
It's a pretty tight one. Israel staying on the high ground. They're buying time for Alive, but Germany are pretty safe under here. Good use of the Sigma shield, and they force them out. But now Germany are on point. This is the problem. Alive needs to clutch here, or Israel are in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. And Engineer is just looking for that flank. They are just, they are trying to just push it out. Dark Artist finding Hardy, so one shield down here for Germany, and it looks as if they are in trouble with Moose going low and going down. IBTB is also dead, and it is absolutely decided here. Now, Israel still in control of the point, and, you know, Germany has to reset this and maybe switch it up in order to just flash fire this again.
No escape for Refid either. I think if I'm Team Germany now, while going to point is good and fast, I think it might be wiser to go left first, force Israel off the high ground, then it's easier to fight them on the point. Need to get them off that high ground first before taking the fight, and it just buys Alive a little bit less time.
That wall just now, that was absolute last nanosecond, and now we are looking there with an ultimate from Knas, and Alive fights Moose. One shield down, Dark Artist sends Rapid gone, and it is Israel yet again with Alive on another run, and this is cleanup.
Exactly, great again, still 3 minutes left, still time for Germany, but now Israel are starting to cycle ults as well, and you saw Moose do his very best. The first shield goes straight in front of Alive's face. Then they get the Gravitic Flux. Again, the shield goes out, but Alive finds a way around it. And looking good right now. Germany, again, 2 failed pushes in a row through main. We'll see if they change their approach here.
Yeah, that's right, and absolute ult advantage here for Team Israel. So, with, you know, nearly 2 minutes off the clock, you know, and the next push coming in, will we see a full hold? Stay tuned and keep watching as Germany are pushing into the side room right now.
Great position for Aviv here. They have to be careful. I still think it's a better position for Germany. The problem is that around ult disadvantage, which could scupper them.
Blizzard coming out. Engineer not moving an inch forward. Aviv finding moves. Awkward here. Now finally with a good convalescence finds Raddy. And this push is over. 3 minutes off the clock for a very dominant Germany, at least in terms of the time bank in the early. But they just equalized it. This could be the map of the century.
2 minutes left though. Germany really glad they got that big time bank because it looks like they might need every second of it. Remember, capturing first point only gets them a draw as well. They do need time on second as well. They're going left side again. I think this is the correct solution. They lost the last fight because of ult disadvantage. Now they've lost Refid, so they can maybe still take this fight or at least spam them. But have to be careful Alive doesn't find anyone. And I think they're just going to play it slow. This is sensible. Big ult advantage as well.
They will have to try and regroup there with the rest of the of Team Germany in that side room, and Refit trying to get back with his team. That would have been a nice shot if Alive could have made that happen yet again. But now it is Germany getting in there. IBTB finds Dark Arts and finds the supercharger. So one ult down there. The second ult coming in from Alive, who could see whatever he wants to see. Moose finding Aviv, but it is Knazen with the double kill, who is at least equalizing it. Alive finds Engineer up on the high ground, and Israel still in control. I do not believe this. This is insane. 40 seconds on the clock. One more attack. All or nothing.
That was a 6 ult push. They only used half of them in Germany's defense, but that was a 6 ult push. They really struggled. They got caught out again. And somehow Israel are full holding Germany again. This was what was it, 4 minutes, 47 seconds? Israel have had to do this. Not done yet. Still one more fight. Still ults. Gravitic Flux and Sound Barrier on the side of Germany.
Yep, that is right. Ult supremacy for Germany. Sound barrier coming in, and it is just another graphitic flux coming in. But it is Alive who finds Moose, getting it down there. Germany, though, in control of the point. The Blizzard is out here for Aviv, who is standing alone on the point. Potts and Awkward back there with Knazen. Knazen on the Monkey, trying to find his way back in. Aviv finally goes down, and now it looks as if they finally got the point. So, Germany taking this point, yes or no, with only Potts trying to hold the overtime win alive. Knazen is back in. That is absolutely right. He made it 2 points. And
they're all back. There's 3 of them back, actually.
Hardy in trouble. Germany losing their main tank as Dark Arthas pushes the trigger. Engineer finds Dark Arthas. It's 2v2 here on the point as Aviv goes down. Engineer on the point, taking more and more targets. Alive cannot flush this out. And it is Cap. We are still not over. Germany now 25 seconds on the clock.
Oh. You know, the biggest problem here for Israel is they tried to clutch that, but because they wanted to swap heroes, they've got rid of all their ults. It's only the Coalescence. Germany obviously still on the same heroes. Moose over to Roadhog. Nearly got Blizzard. Oh, he's gone back to Sick now, never mind. But nearly Blizzard, nearly Death Blossom. And this is looking good. Alive over to the Ash, probably better suited. Great opening kill! Rady's not there, we can't get Blizzard!
Exactly,
great for Israel!
Finally in there, and top of there, Knazen and Awkward trying to close it out. Knazen with that double here. The overtime week running, they're not making it, and this is insane! A draw! They are able to get the draw out of nearly a minute and a half of deficit. Great game!
Excellent, absolutely excellent. Great response from Team Israel. Honestly, I keep counting them out. On Havana, after they had that attack, I was like, okay, Germany probably going to take a 2-0 lead here. Israel needs to bounce back in the second half. Nope, full hold. Again here, they struggle on their second round attack. But again, a great defense. And Israel really living off their defense right now. Still 1-1, 0 points awarded for the draw. We go into map 4, and it's going to be winner takes all, Ollie.
And I am so psyched. Chad, tell me, are you not entertained? We see 12 gladiators dying for your amusement, and we promised you a close match. This is as close as it's going to get, and I am tingling with emotion right now.
I think if I'm just double checking, but I think if I'm correct, the loser pick carries forward. Yeah, so Germany who lost Havana, will pick again. So this inadvertently obviously probably puts Germany in a stronger position. Again, I don't think map picks are in... It's a little bit of, you know, throw a dart and see where it sticks right now because they don't know what Israel are good or bad at necessarily. So I think it is still a little bit random. They choose King's Row. Everyone likes King's Row. This should be good.
Yes, this should be absolutely fantastic. Scrim's Row.